Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's get started. Immediately! Chapter 17, 5:10 a.m. Wow, 5 a.m. It's almost dawn. The upended submarine continues to sink, slowly but surely. A long, long journey to the bottom of the sea. We got a snake! Linda, the little lady, found the darkness and the salt water closing in on them. At the very last second, something saved them. Now it looks down at them quietly. That is filled with one giant question. What in the world is this thing? It's a friendly snake. Eek! Yeah! Yeah! So fucking cool. I see you managed to survive, Detective. Yeah, I brought my sunglasses with me. Hey, you're... Excuse my appearance. I seem to have lost my body. Hey, bitch. Oh, and you there. You're the ghost who's been saving Lynn all evening, aren't you? You knew about me all along? Of course. What else would explain all those unnatural things happening? If you knew, how come you didn't do anything about it this whole time? And how come you decide to save us all of a sudden? I thought you wanted to get revenge on us. I don't really know. Please, you gotta tell me. I need to know. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you! What happened? I can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. You can't remember who you are? That's right. I came all this way tonight, trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought I was you, Sissel. Sissel. My name isn't Sissel. I bet you'll remember really soon who you are, and who I am too. What? Makes you think. The man in front of me is not me. Even further away from the truth. Or maybe not. Something is stirring in my mind, a memory about to emerge. Do I know this man? Now I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. You certainly are, my friend. Oh, I love that robot body. It's so cool. You know I love an AI story, and this has nothing to do with AI, but it's adjacent. It's thematically similar. They got us good. It's all over for this submarine. Its engine room is destroyed, there's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had to deal with these people. And they betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. There you have it, they want it now. The Temsic fragment. I didn't know they had it all figured out. You mean they figured out the source of your powers? Yeah, the meteorite's radiation has two effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. We sure would! These 10 years, I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do his research. I think I've kind of got some of it figured out. Oh yeah, Miss El's here. The meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers. Like possessing and manipulating objects. And in my case, swapping objects. Exactly. Apparently there are individual differences in the powers we get. And it seems these powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. First I could only manipulate small living creatures. Now then, how do you suppose we got these powers? It's simple. It is? How then? In a nutshell, we died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite, its radiation. That's what it does? Dying while being exposed to the radiation? On that day 10 years ago. This is starting to have the Naruto swing vibes. Oh, he died ass up! A fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart and I died. So of course I received special powers. Hey, wait a minute! Is that how I got my powers too? You know, you might be right. Yeah, he died in the crater. Oh, puppy. Yeah. Aren't the Temsic remnants still right there in that park at the bottom of the crater? You're right. So that must mean I must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation too. Or maybe this guy's wrong and it just happened to look out twice. Another effect the meteorite's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. And I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not all that clear. So the fact that I can return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of the meteorite? Yeah, of course. One of the characteristics of that meteorite is its ability to replay the moment of death. Replay the moment of death? Ah, this is also strange and confusing. I can't take it all in. Makes as much sense. Makes about as much sense to me as anything else. Yeah, strange and confusing. That just about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. Thanks to that meteorite fragment, my very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? Contradict. That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. In other words, my body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. What? My body's vital functions stopped 10 years ago, but my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Time just stopped, huh? So I just simply existed, not really alive and not really dead. That pretty much sums up these last 10 years for me, ever since that incident in the park. My body hasn't aged a day. My hair hasn't grown an inch. Come to think of it, that old pigeon guy mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with a scalpel. So I guess as soon as an incision was made, his body would be regenerated. Wow. Yeah, pretty fucked up. Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I just noticed that the phone receiver is his arm and the flashlight's there. That's cool. I want to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives? As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. Cooperate? You mean the kidnapping? It all went fine. I manipulated the Justice Minister and made him issue the execution order. But I thought he might call off the execution at the last second. So that's why you wanted his daughter kidnapped. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. Little did I know, they had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Huh? Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsic. Detective Jowd was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. Sheesh. A lot of people were involved. Inspector Carbonell and that junkyard super. They were slated to be wiped out too. And as it turns out, I was one of their targets as well. So they stole my Temsic fragment, and here I am. They had one more final target. You, Detective. Me? Well, you were in the park that day. If you weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago, I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage. Okay. I was just a little kid playing in the park. Yeah, I know. Huh? 10 years later, you've become a detective looking into Jowd's case. Tonight, I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap, you see. Oh shit, yeah, this thing. Finally gonna know what he said. I told you who I was. You never saw my face that day 10 years ago, so of course you didn't recognize me. Oh, that shrug. Oh god, he's a long range. Longer than missiles from the looks of things. I took possession of you to make you shoot me. Man, that means this guy has twice as many cores as us, because we can't even possess... Like, most living people don't even have a core for us to move through, but his range of movement is huge. His subconscious resisted me. Such incredible power. It was the first time I wasn't able to control somebody completely. The aim was off and the first shot missed the mark. then once again I landed ass up. The junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew to be wanted for murder. That was my plan anyway. Oh yeah, I guess it should stand to reason that this wasn't planned out. By him anyway. Because it kind of fucks up his plan. Excuse me. A little sleepy. Try not to fall asleep. But I had other ideas. They simply wanted you wiped out. But then, something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme. Haha! Us! I do that. I showed up. I was supposed to meet up with them after that. But then something went wrong. What happened? My body disappeared. Ha! The inspector in white was responsible for that one. My precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back no matter what. That inspector caused me no end of trouble. But why were those people targeting me? I never even heard of the Temsic meteorite. Because you were looking into the Jowd case. They thought you would find out about Temsic sooner or later. Guess that makes sense. But, that's all well and good, but we are trapped in here. I like that he makes the gears turn. Definitely doesn't have to do that. And that's pretty much the whole story. The only thing left to do now is wait for the water pressure to crush this submarine. Oh no. There are no cores that link from here to the water's surface. I have an idea. We hook up the phone line and... There are no communication cables down this deep. They're meant for the submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape. I think I kind of understand now. What you've been feeling these 10 years. You what? This feeling. Cut off from the world, all alone in a submarine. Sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. This must be how you felt all along. Oh no, Camilla, no. Honey, don't wake up, please. I mean, not in that way, but this is not something you want to wake up to. Lynn? Camilla! Is it true? We're stuck here? What? Oh, Camilla. If my dad was here, I bet he'd save us. Camilla, I'm so sorry. That's funny. What is it, Sissel? There's something I don't understand. Why'd they go to all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? Why didn't they just steal the Temsic fragment and escape if that's what they wanted? Why'd they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question. I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. You have no idea where it was launched to. Wait a minute! Yes, we do! Oh, this track is so good. I like to think of it as not Sissel's theme. This will tell us where Detective Jowd is. A present from the Inspector in White. That's right. Detective Jowd told me to hold on to it for him. And the bullet is still in this person's body in the command room, right? Then we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this. But even if we find out where it is, how do we get there? We should be able to figure something out between the three of us. With our powers, right, Miss Lynn? Yeah, you got 3 powerful ghosts here. Right. Oh, wait a minute. What about a torpedo? A torpedo? In any case, it's way too early to give up. Looks like Detective Jowd is our last hope. Come on, let's get started. Man, Lynn, you're alright. I want to talk to you. Why don't you have a flame? You're right, Camille? So my dad isn't here on the submarine? Don't worry, we're gonna go get him right now. Okay. I hope I didn't hurt Lynn's feelings. What I said about my dad saving us if he was here. Oh, she can hear you. Oh, don't worry about that. Comments like that just roll right off Miss Lynn's back. She's really thick-skinned. Ouch. I'm gonna start being tougher too. I want to make my dad proud of me. Oh, Lynn. I mean, Camilla, he's already proud of you, honey. Miss Camilla. I'm sure your dad is very proud of you, Camilla. You've been through so much today. Okay, what do we do now? We gotta find the command room that was launched somewhere into the sea. What? How? Just to let you know, I don't like water very much. According to Lynn, key to our plan is a torpedo, kind of a missile. Missile? You have a missile right here! I don't think she's talking about that kind of a missile. And then where did we see another torpedo? Man, Camilla just wanted to watch TV and eat donuts tonight, you know? She wanted to go to bed early, but now she's in a torpedo sinking to her death. So a shell is definitely there in the command room, right? Just without the fragment? It's there, yeah, but I don't know about calling it a shell. Detective Jowd's watch will tell us exactly where it is. Right, he said it was a radio receiver, didn't he? There might still be another torpedo on this submarine. If we use it, we can get to Detective Jowd. That's a brilliant plan, Detective. You think so? So what are you gonna do, ride on top of the torpedo? Of course not! You guys are gonna go! Darn, I kinda wanted to see that. Did you want to see me drown? I mean, you can't lie, that's pretty funny. Hey, I gotta stop. Grapes! Oh, it's a machine feeding me grapes. Why is this machine shoving grapes at me? Well, this looks like the private cabin of the top officer, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it's got a picture in the back. The machine is probably for feeding him grapes while he lies in bed. Oh, it sounds heavenly! I've been thinking about this for a while now. Don't you think that country's use of technology is just a little off? Says the guy who made a deal with said country. Anyway, looks like the arm of this machine is a bit busted. Is it? No. Well, not to worry. I have a plan. Yup. He's sure trying. He's really gonna get you those grapes. He's gonna do it. Oh, for some reason I thought it was gonna automatically. Anyway, at least this... actually, I want to check out the engine room. Phone line to the engine room isn't working right now. Well, water probably damaged the line. I guess I don't need to go back there anyway. Maybe I just want to see fish in the submarine, okay? Alright, torpedo. Torpedo room, huh? There might be another torpedo left there. I'll go check it out. Oh, I get it. You're gonna use a missile to ram the control room. Well, I don't know about ram. You don't want to blow up Detective Jowd, but something like that. We'll climb up to the torpedo room too. Up is definitely safer. Okay, I'll see you there then. Sure, providing all the rooms leading there are watertight. Oh wow. You guys are talented climbers. And yes, I definitely do remember there being 2 hangars, so it's okay. It looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. There are 2 tubes, so there should be 1 more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me. Onto the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. You ought to be able to use these switches now. Okay, let's try it. Good luck! I guess I'm gonna be the one using them. I want to talk to Camilla! Okay. How's it going, Lynn? How's it going there? I'm just calculating the command room's coordinates now. I have to put in a slight offset though. Don't want to blow it up. I'm sure Detective Jowd would appreciate that. Well, leave this to me. Good luck with loading the missile. Okay, thanks. Although it is a torpedo. What will happen to these 2 ladies? I think that's up to us and our powers. What? There's no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength missile? Me? Of course I will. Count on it! Yeah! I'm gonna lower that switch. Switch won't budge. Maybe it's broken? I don't think the entire device is broken though. Probably work just fine if I could only move the switch. Just have to find a way to move it somehow. But I can't do it with my powers alone. That's a hint if I ever heard it. Missile, would you be so kind? Thank you. Let's go! Yeah. There we go. That torpedo looks serviceable. All set on this end too. But something's odd. What is? Command room. Looks like it's slowly sinking. Sinking? Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. I wonder what happened. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Right. Okay, hop into the missile. I'll launch it for you. Okay, thanks. Man, you'd have to do some really intense calculations to make sure that actually, ended up if it's sinking. Because, like, you know, it's going to be moving and the missile's going to be moving. You don't know how long. You need to calculate the rate sinking and... No one cares. I already set the torpedo's course. It'll head towards the command room where Detective Jowd is. 12 seconds after launching, you'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be a window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. Okay, got it. And we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. Alright. Okay, come on, Missile. Missile? I'm sorry, I can't go. What? I just can't. How could I leave? I can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla behind. I can't do it. Missile. Swap the switches so the missile can be launched. You have to do the rest, Sissel. I can't do it either. I can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels. Come on, man. You might need your powers. I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn... You staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen. And that's our only hope. What if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never, ever again. Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that. Don't worry, Missile. Miss Camilla? I just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry. Miss Camilla! I'm sad. Okay. That's a good boy, Missile. 5:30 a.m. Now, are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw this switch. We're ready. Sissel? Yes? Never found out who you really were. But that doesn't matter now. All I know is I'm truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you for everything. And I'm glad I met you, Detective. But we're going to see each other again, right, Sissy? Right, Missile? That's right. We promise, little lady. Of course we will! I'll never forget you, no matter what happens. Here goes, then. Good luck, friend. Oh, boy. Shit's so intense. The stakes are really high now. It's 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. I strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. How can a ray of light of hope reach as far down in the deep sea? Before I can think of an answer, the 12 seconds are up. Jowd? Oh, shit. Jowd. Detective Jowd! I bet that big masked man did this. I'm going to bite him! Better not, you might break your teeth. The command room has lost power and is sinking. I wonder what this masked man is going to do. Let's talk to Detective Jowd! Yes, I think we'd better. Oh, that's weird. He doesn't have the Temsec fragment anymore. Detective Jowd is lying on the floor. I'm glad you came along, Missile. Huh? After all, you and I are the only ones who can bring Detective Jowd back to life. That's right. Let's save him, together. Sorry for the wait, Detective Jowd. Who are you? Are you Sissel? Please excuse my appearance. I can't believe you made it here. How's Camilla, and what about Lynn? Well, it's kind of a long story. Off the bat, they're safe. I told Detective Jowd about everything that happened on the submarine Manoa. So the submarine is badly damaged? Why would he do that to his own submarine? I wish I knew. I know the answer to that one. It's because he's afraid of my powers. You followed us? I didn't even notice. It's been 10 long years, Detective Jowd. Are you Yomiel? So you remember me, do you? How could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? Yomiel? That's right. Fun fact about that name. Not only is it biblical, but it also works in Japanese because Yomi is like, I don't remember how you string it together, but it means to revive. Yomigaeru, I think. But yeah, to revive or like come back from the dead and such. Anyway, that's right. Those people that you know were calling you Sissel? That's just an alias. Alias? I never know how to say this word! I hate it! It's stupid. This word's stupid. I was using my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Could you do me a favor? Would you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can still tell you, right, Detective Joe? Right. Right, Yomiel, what's your deal? 10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you? Systems engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know. You sure are. It's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who's good at using computers. I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's why I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? It's a project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top secret information. The goal is to build a new system using multi-dimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government. Doesn't sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about. To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. The fuck is multi-dimensional programming? However, this project was also the target of a secret plot. But you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. I never thought for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. Then one day the name of a certain programmer emerged as a suspect. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you, and then that incident happened. You escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as a hostage. By the way, Detective Jowd, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. I'm so sorry, Yomiel. Oh, that's so sad. 10 years ago. My soul was split from my body and I lost everything. I was sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world. No question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear. I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. And so that's why you murdered Alma. That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything we cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt. What? Dude, he already told you that. It was a twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, as I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. Came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. There's something I just don't understand about that deal. I'm sure powers would be very valuable to them, but what would you get out of that deal? A new life. Life? I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they helped me with my revenge plot, and the second was a rebirth for me. Birth? New beginning, eh? I didn't care it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical receptacle for my soul, a name, an identity, an everyday life. I want to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally, I wanted to die surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for. Completely man-made life. That's right. I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. That's why I decided to ask a national government to help me. And their response in the end was betrayal. Well, that's what you get when you ask a government. They're making their moves much more carefully than I suspected. They said spice this country and research my powers on their own. And even figured out what Temsec was all about. You had no idea they were doing all this? Not at all. I was a fool. So then, why'd they go to all that trouble in making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal a hunk of the Temsec meteorite from the park? They couldn't. Huh? After the manipulator incidents, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power. Hey man, missed you. By Inspector Carmella and that old pigeon guy, huh? At first the government didn't believe the report. But then they decided to put the park under surveillance just in case. Surveillance, huh? Just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. No. Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy is one of them. No, not him. He's just a plain old odd person. I guess so. That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. So that's why they couldn't steal the Temsec meteorite. And lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsec meteorite. So that's it, huh? You know, that does make a lot of sense. I did wonder what that was the whole housing site thing was gonna pay off as. So the upshot of your grand deal was this, huh? Yeah, it's the ending I deserve. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. What's that? You managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bring Detective Jowd back to life, of course. What? What good will that do now?
But we promised. We promised Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla would save them.
We can't do that without you, Detective Jowd. Been guided by fate tonight towards this place. I won't give up now. Alright, fine. Let's see where it leads us. Here we go then. Back to 4 minutes before your death. And now we got Yomiel here. He's gonna help us. So, where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. What? There's only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We'll run out soon, and that will be our final destination, Detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too. But... By the way, I am not human, Detective. I'm a remote-controlled robot, Detective. What? Your country's use of technology is just plain off. We get that a lot, Detective. Love a good AI. Means remote-controlled, supposedly. Why would you go to all the trouble to do this? There's nothing but a shell there. It's hardly a threat anymore. Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There is no need for you to know, Detective. Psh. Just two large kings staring at each other. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same, it seems, Detective. Camilla, forgive me. Oh, he showed it? Wow, he should have fallen back a little further, I think. It isn't over yet.
It isn't?
Remember what the big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small. Possibility. In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. Possibility of turning the situation around. What's on your mind, Yomiel? Anything to say? Where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. We're run out of fuel soon and that'll be our destination, detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too. I don't know why it doesn't let me click like that. Huh? What is it, detective? Look at Yomiel's shell. There's no aura emanating from his body. Of course there isn't. The Temsic fragment is gone. Could this change his shell? Give us some kind of lead? You bet it could. Yeah, we're doing this now. I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they're afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of Temsic. His body cycled between the moments that separate his life and death. Right, but not anymore. The Temsic fragment has been taken away. Exactly. So what does that mean? I get it. Your body won't come back to life anymore. The moment my Temsic fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. So let's see. That means you can go back? Back to 4 minutes before your death?
But wait a minute. Exactly when is that death?
That's simple. We'll find out. When we get there, let's move. Ooh. Ooh. Chills. 10 years. 10 years back in time. I fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever. And I saw it. The final death at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I've already seen all of the clues. All I have to do now is remember. The final journey to the truth starts now. Yes, please. Whew. Okay. I really want to get this game finished today, but I think I'll have to take a break before I do that. So, that in mind, thank you so much for watching. Things are really heating up. Holy shit! I like Yomiel. I almost name dropped him a couple times in earlier chapters. I almost said, oh, Yomiel's, but I was like, oh no. You're not supposed to know that yet. Shit. But yeah, anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.